Alright, this video is just for the last minute tips and tricks. I want to show you a couple things. First, by now you've got your completed data collection document with your graphs down here on the bottom. Okay, so what I want to show you is each of us obviously have multiple kids. So instead of having to create this every time for every kid, what I want to show you is your individual sheets at the bottom. You've probably noticed that throughout this video series I've been clicking back and forth between Johnny Test, which was our example document we began with, and over it says sheet 1 right now, but we've actually been using that as Jenny Test. What I want to show you first of all is how to copy these sheets so that you won't have to recreate this data or this document every single time. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to actually clear this out, and we're going to start with a blank document, such as like a template of sorts that you would use for students, like new students. So this is a blank document. I'm just gonna leave the name and the data up here, or the demographic information. You can change that for each individual kid as you go. But so we start here. What we're going to do, we go down here to the bottom, and this is the sheet we're on right now. It's called sheet 1. First of all, let me show you how to rename that. You're going to go down to the name, right click, and you're going to go to rename. Pretty simple. I'm going to call this Jenny Test. Okay, actually I'm going to change that because I took Jenny Test out. I'm going to call this template. Okay, so this is now this sheet is now called template. We've still got Johnny Test here. But so say if we get a new kid, you're halfway through the year and you're getting a new student, and you're going to come to your template page, which is this. You're going to go down, you're going to right click again, just like we did when we renamed it. Come to template, right click, and we're going to use move or copy. Okay, and what you're going to look at is going to ask, first of all, where do you want to move it to? You can actually move this thing into a whole new document or a new book if you wanted to. We're going to leave this under the original file. Mine's called PD Project. For my actual data, I believe it's called, I think it's just called, I don't know, third grade data or whatever you want to call 2016, 17 data, things like that, whatever you've named your file. So let's leave it in that book. But we're going to copy. You can copy whichever one you want, but we're copying the template right now, and we're going to ask what to do with it. You can insert it before the template sheet. You can insert it before the Johnny Test, or you can just move it to the end. I'm going to go ahead and just click move to the end. And right now, this would just be moving it. In order to actually create a copy, you have to check this box, create a copy. So if you just wanted to move that, that's how you could do it. But we're going to create a copy and click OK. Now what you'll see now is I have my original template document. We have sheet number 2 has the Johnny Test example document, and then we've actually got a third sheet now that's called template, and then it's got a 2 in parentheses, so this is basically the second copy of the original template. First thing I'll do is rename this, and let's name this, let's say that Jenny Test just came to my class. I now have a template, Johnny Test, and I've got my blank Jenny Test, and then we're going to come in and do the student name, the school year, grade, all that kind of stuff that you're going to do, and you're going to go ahead and format the goals to match the student's IEP. If I need to add benchmarks or add goals or subtract, whatever we need to do, and then I'm going to be ready to go. Add my goals in, and you'll see we've still got the line graph down here. As soon as you put data in with this, let's put a couple data points in real quick. Okay, and what you'll see, Excel knows where we started at, okay? And it's ready to automatically graph right where we left off at in the original template. Okay, it's ready to chart all that in. You don't have to change nothing, do nothing. It's ready to go. That's what the advantage is to copying that original template that you set up. Okay, so what I'm going to set up, I'm probably going to keep this file pretty much for indefinitely, as far as we're going forward now, until something better shows up. And every year, what I'll do, have all my kids listed out, and I'll probably save this original template without making any changes to it. And so let's say that Jenny Test, I had her this year. Next year she's not in my class no more. I'm going to go down and right click, and we're going to just delete that, delete her back out of the system. And for that matter, I don't want to delete Johnny Test just yet, but I could delete him also. Okay, and then that way I'm ready for the upcoming year. All I'm going to do is make a copy, however many I need, change the names, change the demographic data, and I'm ready to go at that point. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you, is how to create multiple students in the bottom and sheets down here. Why would you want to do that? You might be wondering, couldn't you just make 8 or 10 different Excel files, one for each student? You could do that, but then when you go to put in your data, you're going to be opening an Excel document, entering your data, saving, Xing back out, open another one, data, save, X out, and it just becomes, it's a lot. It's only, whatever it is, 30 seconds or a minute each time. But when you've got 10 or 12 kids, that adds 10 or 12, 15, 20 minutes onto the task of already going and adding your data. It's one more obstacle to getting good data and putting it in every week like we should be doing. Okay, so by putting these kids across the bottom, I can go in right here. I can go to Jenny. I can put, all right, there's your data. Ready? I'm ready for Johnny. Boom, there's your data. Next kid, there's your data. Next kid, there's your data. Okay, so it's quick and easy, and I can just go up and hit save when I'm done, and that's all it takes. Okay, now the second thing I want to show you is how to present this data when you go to ARCS. Okay, so because you've got these multiple sheets, you're going to pick the kid you want. So I'm going to pick Johnny Test. Okay, you're going to go to File. You're going to go down to Print. Okay, you can see a print preview right here, how that data is going to print out. What I use, if you're tight for space, if you've got a lot of goals, you need extra space, you can change these margins from normal to narrow. That gives you a little more space if you need it. Your orientation is already going to be for the landscape, so it prints out the way we need it. And as you can see here, this is going to have all my data, my goals, my written analysis, and then when I go down to page 2, you can see there is my graph. Okay. Now one thing right off the top, and I just noticed, I didn't realize this at first, but it's actually showing me 4 pages. The problem is I've got a little bit of my graph hanging off the side, and I've got a little bit of my data. It actually looks like my benchmark 2.2 is not going to print in line with my data the way I want. So let's change that margin and see if that fixes it. Okay, that little bit of margin change was enough to bring the extra in that I needed. Okay, if that didn't work, what you would do is go to your scaling right here, and let's just do fit. Let's see. You don't want to fit it all on one page because that'll do the data and graph together. I think we could do fit all columns on one page. Okay, that would do it. So if I still use my regular margins, you can use your scale to fit all columns on one page, and that'll bring it down so you're just back at 2 pages again. Okay, so that's how you would do that. Something I want to show you, the last thing here, is a tip for Infinite Campus. Okay, as you know, as a special education teacher, we have to have this data evidenced for the IEPs. Okay, so when you go to an ARC meeting or when you make a progress report, you're supposed to print this paper copy out, and you're supposed to put that into the brown folders that we use, our special education folders. Okay, and that folder travels the kid all the way through graduation, hopefully, and that data is always there. Okay, what happens when somebody 3 or 4 years down the road goes through the folder and they're tidying up a little bit, and or they're looking at data, and all of a sudden this your data sheet here falls out, gets destroyed, thrown away, whatever happens? Okay, that data is gone forever at that point and can't be used. So would it be handy to be able to upload this digital copy in like a PDF form into Infinite Campus, then you can then staple or associate to the IEP? Yes, it would. How can we do that? Okay, Excel, as far as my knowledge, mine always has been, I think all the Excels, when you go to File down to Print, you're going to see your printer option. Okay, so it would have like your regular printer option to print this file out. What mine has, and I think that all the Excel has, you're going to click a down arrow, and I have an Adobe PDF right here. Okay, and so when I change that to Adobe and PDF and actually go up and hit print, instead of printing, it's actually going to pop up and ask me where I want to save it at. So instead of printing, it's actually a save command. Okay, so what you would do then, you could go and you'll save this to the desktop, and I'm going to call this PD project, save to the desktop in this PD folder. Okay, it's a PDF document. So I'm going to save that right there. Okay, and my computer just told me that I'm done with that, so I'm going to go now and open up that, and let's see where it went. I thought I saved it right here. Oh, There it goes. It's a little slow. All right, so you can see right there, I now have a PDF document that just shows the data, just like it would print out, the data and the graph for that one student. It doesn't print all the students, just the sheet that you're looking at the time. You've got that PDF document, and I can go into Infinite Campus, and I can upload that and staple it or associate it to the IEP that it goes with, and that's going to follow that student all the way through graduation in Infinite Campus, so they can go back to 2016-17, pull up that IEP, pull up the document, and you can do the same thing for your progress reports. And it's digital data. That's the future. That's where things are going, folks. Digital data that's not on papers that get lost, not on papers that get cleaned out or destroyed or changed or what have you. It's in Infinite Campus. It's retained, throughout that educational career, and that is the future. I hope that you like that idea. I know I certainly do. So, with that, we conclude this PD. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned some things that will help you. I'm going to ask you to take one last assessment. Well, first, let me tell you, I will be looking at the completed data sheets that you've made with your graphs and with the data for Jenny that I provided to see if you were able to do the averages and things of that nature. Make sure your graph is appropriate and that it's visually appealing and shows what it needs to show. So I'll be taking a look at all that, and if there's any issues, I'll get with you and try to help you do some reteaching on it so that you learn how to do that appropriately. If you have any other questions, I'll be glad to answer those also. But I do have one final questionnaire that I'm going to send you. It's going to ask you to rate this PD 1 through 10 on some various topics and various features of this PD. And so I'll ask that you do that, and then there'll also be a box for you to add some input. Okay. I hope that you give me some critical feedback if there's something I could do better. If you like the format of this online PD versus a stay after school for 2 or 3 hours PD, those kinds of things. So I'm looking for those comments. I hope that you give me some good information for feedback. And I just want to close by saying, once again, thank you for allowing me to offer this professional development to you guys. And I hope that you found something that you liked and that you can use to make your job easier. Thank you again.